You ever been so tired and disorientated you think you might cry? That was me about 16 hours ago. It's only improved a little bit. Well, so hello and welcome to my channel. So I know most introductory videos tend to be very peppy and tend to be jumping around a lot. Well, guess what? I don't think any of them are just flying around the world, so bear with me. Also, of course, this is my first sort of, can I call it freestyle? Should I call it freestyle? We'll go with freestyle. My freestyle diary thing. Now, I am on the other side of the world. I am far away from my usual roosting grounds, and apparently I'm too lazy to keep a diary, so I'm just going to record it. Am I too lazy to pick up a pen or type it out? Yes. Am I too lazy to spend about an hour editing this thing? Apparently not. I'm not entirely sure how my brain works either. Hello, welcome to the first ever diary entry for Parrot. That's me. But you may be asking, okay, so where on the other side of the world are you? I am currently in my second spiritual home. I have to say second because there's always going to be a part of me that belongs to England, no matter how hard I try. But I am in my second spiritual home of Auckland, New Zealand. I made it. Yes. I would show you the view out my window, but I don't have one. My room is pretty tiny, but it has a bed and it has a fridge, apparently, which actually I'm not using as a fridge, I'm currently using as a video stand, so that works fine. But I have a bed, so I don't care. No, it wasn't the easiest trip over. It went predominantly without a hitch, but if anybody has ever flown long haul, or indeed ever travelled at all, you'll know that there's always hiccups, and then you know there's always things out of your control. So I started travelling at 11 AM on Monday morning. Admittedly, I'd been awake since maybe 4 AM on Friday morning. Okay, before I left, it was my cousin's wedding, and it was a beautiful day, went really, really well, but we were effectively hosting it for 4 days. It was a fantastic day. But the night before, we hosted a pre-gaming shindig, shall we say, where basically all her family got to mingle with a bit of his family, and all the friends got to mingle, and we just basically got to know people. And we hosted that in our garden, which meant the day before, we had to put the marquee up, we had to make sure everything was ready, so it was, and then it was a long 4 days, because then after the wedding we did have the breakdown, and so many leftovers to eat, so many I'm not a fan of salmon, so it was salad for me for about 4 days. So at the end of that I had maybe half a day to pack, ish, so that was fun. I don't think I've forgotten anything so far. I started travelling at 11 AM on Monday morning. That was at Cockfosters. Doesn't matter how hard I get, that's always going to be funny. On the tube at Cockfosters all the way through to Terminal 4. Got there in plenty of time.
I am here 2 hours early and I'm okay with that.
But it was as I was standing for check-in I realised something. I haven't flown in about 3 years. This is my first holiday since 2015. Things have changed. There were a few things I wasn't expecting. One, I hadn't really printed off my confirmation, so everyone was standing there with printed tickets and I was freaking out a little bit because I thought, I haven't done that. Thankfully, it was okay. I just had to hand over my confirmation and my passport, that was fine. Then when the bag was on the scales, thankfully well underweight, but it was standing there answering various questions. They said, do you have any electronics in the bag? And I was like, yeah, my laptop's in there. Oh, we need you to take that out. Lithium batteries can't go in the hold. Because at this point my carry-on bag was full to bursting. It wasn't heavy, it was just full. And it's an old rucksack. I think I might have to replace it whilst I'm out here because the zip's starting to go and also the mesh of the actual bag is starting to... So I'm there, taking my laptop out and thinking, great, how am I going to get that into my rucksack? So a few things had to be sacrificed, a few things had to be moved around, and I had to put the wedding prezi in my checked-in baggage. I think it survived. Oh yeah, I can definitely tell what it is now. So I got all checked in and everything, had myself a bit of dinner, which actually it was really quite sweet because the waiter got my dinner order ever so slightly wrong. Basically I'd asked for garden peas and I got mushy peas, and he was so apologetic. He was offering to take it back and get it sorted for me, and I was just like, bruh, I haven't slept in about 2 days and you've brought me food. You brought me food. It's mental in here and you have brought me food. I should be thanking you on bended knee. Basically, it's just a case of, dude, you brought me sustenance. As long as you haven't spat in it, I honestly don't care. Thank you, mate. And it was madness in there. I think I did it at just the wrong time. It was about 6 o'clock in the evening and it was just... Oh, also the footy was on. By the way, does anyone know what the England score was? Because I have no clue. I need to go find Wi-Fi. Then I found myself some dinner and proceeded to read until the gate was called. Got on board, everything settled down. Now the flight over wasn't too bad. You know, no screaming kids. Absolutely fine. A little bit turbulence now and again. Good tailwind. It's all fine. I'd forgotten how stinking cold airplane cabins can be. I think I'm quite hot-blooded. I don't generally feel the cold, and I'd forgot. And oh my! I thought, right, get on board. Sit down, watch the safety stuff, clock out, fall asleep. I'll be absolutely fine. No. The entire flight over to New Zealand, I got maybe 4 hours sleep, caught here and there in snatches of about half an hour or so. Yeah, not fun. There were other films there that I haven't watched I really wanted to see, but it was a case of I'm too flippin' tired. The Shape of Water, I wanted to see it for ages. I wouldn't have been able to understand, I wouldn't have been able to keep up, I would not have been able to give it my full attention. But I landed in Kuala Lumpur and then proceeded to burn 5 hours as best I could.
Okay, this place is gorgeous, if a little bit confusing, but look, they have literally got an outdoor space that allows you to go and it's a little jungle thing. I might be tired, I can't function, I can't form words, but look at it, it's so cool. I'm going outside. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful, but oh my gosh, it's humid out here. Oh, it's so... no, it's beautiful, but I need aircon and I need it stat. Oh god.
So I proceeded to find a shady corner. I proceeded to sit myself down in a little bit of air conditioning and try not to sweat through my shirt for the rest of the time. I basically just sat and sew and watched natural history documentaries on my iPad from the BBC because... nerd. But the flight from Kuala Lumpur to Auckland again went off fairly easily. Hit quite a bit of turbulence, so every now and again the seatbelt sign was going back on, and it was a little bit emptier than the previous one. I had next to me, it was a case of me, empty seat, little old lady, empty seat, so I thought, fantastic, spread out a little bit. Nope, grandma was on that, I like that. Armrests up, and she spread out, just asleep. So, okay, more power to you. I mean, heck, at least one of us got to sleep, and I don't think I would have managed it anyway. It wasn't until halfway through the flight I was able to steal a second blanket, and by that point my body was just like, nope, I don't know what's going on. And I must admit, I sat down and looked around when we first got on, and from where I was sitting I could see 4 toddlers. 4 infants. I was like, that's always everything you want to see just before a 10-hour flight. Yeah. And actually, not a single one of them made a peep. All of them quiet as the grave. Lovely little kids. Admittedly, the little girl in front of me caused a little bit of a ruckus, but as soon as we actually started taxiing, she settled right down. It was fine. And it wasn't a case of bawling ruckus, it was just a case of, I'm going to make friends with everybody. Ruckus. And I'm just like, hi, hello gremlin, please sit down, please don't look at me. And we came into Auckland. Now I remembered last time when I flew into Auckland, I had a window seat, and I remembered looking out over the window and just seeing water, water getting very close, water, then hitting the tarmac, and it was pretty much exactly the same. I was there looking out going, yep, that's the sea, hello, oh, and there's tarmac. Wonderful feeling, wonderful feeling. But eventually we disembarked, and I'm not going to say that as we were coming off the aircraft and various airport staff were saying, Kaya, welcome to New Zealand, I'm not going to say that I got teary. Didn't mean it didn't happen. But then it was a case of getting through passport control and customs. Now, if anyone has ever been to New Zealand before, you'll know about New Zealand customs. Now, New Zealand has a very strict biosecurity law in place, and props to them. It is very important that they keep their environment as free of invasive species as they possibly can. More props to them. However, it scares the heck out of normal people. I mean, heck, it scares the life out of me, and I know why they have this biosecurity. I know why they have it. So that means declaring, and in my case, declaring everything. So on the plane they gave you these little cards to fill in, which admittedly had a little bit scribbling all over mine because a combination of sleep deprivation and dyslexia. So I handed that over, and it was a case of, right, you have food. What food do you have? I have 2 unopened jars of Marmite, 500 grams each. Very specific. Basically, and in case she finds these, I don't think she's going to, but basically they are 2 wedding presses for the bride, because one of the main reasons I'm here in New Zealand, I probably should have started with that, one of the main reasons I'm here in New Zealand is for a good friend's wedding on Saturday. Where are we? Saturday? On the 7th, down in Wellington. And she's an expat, and she and I went to school together, and she loves Marmite. Now, you can get Marmite here in New Zealand, apparently, but it doesn't taste the same, and I can completely believe that, because when I was here last time, I had a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of Cadbury's, and you can definitely taste the difference. So I got her some Marmite. So the guy was like, right, okay, that's very specific. I was like, yep, I knew this was coming. Okay, wood. What have you got to declare wood-wise? 4 ornamental hair sticks, because I've got to do something with this. So it's right, okay, yep. So equipment that may have been used on a farm or wilderness areas. Can you explain that to me? Now, I work in a zoo. I work at Whipsnade Zoo down in Bedfordshire, back in the UK, and I had brought my work boots because I are probably the closest thing I have to walking boots, and heck, I need the ankle support in this place. So he's there inspecting my boots. Now, I did give them a scrub before leaving home, but I'm never going to get that dust marks out. I'm never going to get them out. But I was eventually given the all clear and allowed to go through customs, and then I had to wait for baggage reclaim. As my bag was going through the x-ray, I realised there's yelling going on. What on earth is happening in arrivals? And then, of course, after a second, my sleep-deprived brain actually realises, oh wait, you're in New Zealand. I realised, it's my first haka! It's my first haka since being here! And as far as I can tell, it was a boys' sports team of some description. I think it was softball. And they were performing a haka in the arrivals lounge. So they'd just been back from a tour. It was great. I just caught the last few moments of it, but I could hear it, and it was pretty special, even if it was pointed in a completely different direction. It was a case of, yep, I'm definitely in New Zealand now. And stepping out into the arrivals lounge, I was greeted by, you know, the centuries of New Zealand customs.
Oh, misty eye of the mountain below.
It's good to see they're still there. I remember them from last time. And then it was a case of having to make my way into Auckland. Thank heavens for the buses. So I trudged my way into Auckland and found base. Now, I have used this place before. I booked a room here last time I was in New Zealand on the way back. They were very, very good to me. So I thought, heck, I'll try them again. And they were very, 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 very helpful downstairs. They were very, very gentle with me, considering they were asking me questions and I was just giving them a blank look, just like, what? Obviously they're very, very used to dealing with very, very sleep-deprived and rather groggy clientele, so thank you ever so much to you guys. But yeah, I've made it. They let me through customs. I've made it. Anyway, we'll see how this thing progresses. Hopefully, next one I do, I'll be a little bit more organised and a little bit more awake. Also, I'm very aware that it's 7 in the morning here. I mean, my body clock is fine, but I'm trying to keep my voice down because neighbours. But yeah, signing out.
We who are about to fly salute you.